Sled Talk listeners, welcome back to the Sled Talk podcast. We are coming to you guys from Heydays, somewhere in Minnesota. We're filming podcast here at the Albany Lodge booth in the vendor section. Austin Wrightsman, a previous podcast guest, invited us to come set up here and has been teeing up a bunch of guests to come on the show. And so I just want to jump on and shoot a little intro that we're going to put over top every single episode. And we're super excited to be here. Can't wait to get started, shake hands. This Heydays, this is our first time here, and tons of people, tons of stuff going on, tons of sleds everywhere. Super excited. Can't wait to start jumping into a bunch of episodes here. So without further ado, let's jump in.
Let the band play.
100K on the Protect, Philippe. Living life with no regrets. I can't designer when I get dressed. Hey. Summertime on winter fresh. I put her legs behind her head. Night she gone to bed. Bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets.
Sled Talk listeners, welcome back to the next episode here at Heydays. Sitting down with Natalie and Sam from Polaris Adventures. And so, let's kick it over with an introduction to you guys.
Yeah, so I'm Samantha. I work on the fleet team at Polaris Adventures. I'm responsible for title and registration for any of our off-road, snowmobile, on-road products for about the eastern portion of the United States. So any title and registration or permits that outfitters need to get to be able to be legal to run is kind of what I deal with. And then just anything else fleet related, that's kind of a 911 that I need to be put on to help the fleet team out and make sure everyone's operating and good to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm Natalie. I work in fleet operations, so my main role is to kind of allocate allocate the units across our outfitters. So we have 190 outfitters between Indian, Slingshot, Snow, ORV, and I'm kind of responsible for forecasting each season, kind of what the outfitter needs are individually as well as a whole, and then work on basically all of the logistics and allocations as well as the PG&A setup, that kind of thing. When Sam talks about her being the 911 person, I'm the one she's referring to. I basically fire drill her all the time on some big things, questions to get outfitters up and running as fast as we can with registration. So.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot to unpack right there. Holy cow. So where are you guys based out of? Where do you guys live?
So we're based out of the corporate headquarters. We're just a couple miles east of Medina headquarters in Minnesota. We're in a smaller office. I live about 45 minutes from our office. I'm an avid snowmobiler and an off-road person myself.
Awesome.
So we can actually leave our backyard right on our sleds to go out in the winter.
Heck yeah.
We have a general we run our dogs with every night in the field. So big person for the sport and an avid rider myself. So I couldn't have chose anywhere better to end up, which is awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, and I'm actually near her. I live out in Annandale, Minnesota, so about 40 minutes from our office there in Plymouth. And same thing with me. My husband and I, we ride snowmobiles, we ride RZR. Yep. You know, our 40-hour work week, we're in the office, we're working, and then pretty much every weekend we're out on the trail somewhere, off-road, on-road. We also have some land, so we spend a lot of time just riding around out on our land, like Sam was saying. So huge advocate for the sport. Love the fact that Polaris Adventures gets a ton of new people out and riding. We both own units, which is awesome, but we're just super huge advocates for individuals who, you know, maybe don't really know much about the sport, don't know how to get into the sport. So that's
want to get on something for the first time and like don't know where to start. So it's cool seeing those first-time riders get on and just like find out that like, oh, this is really fun and this is something that would be fun to do. And I think it's also like kind of how it leads into our Select program that we're offering now too. So the Select program is a membership program through Polaris, and it works with our outfitter network. It's for the people that rent more than a couple times a year but don't really want to deal with ownership. So there's 3 different tiers to that membership program. Each level has a different amount of credits. Those credits do roll over from month to month. So I always like to think of it up here in Minnesota. If you're like a snowbird and head south in the winter to Arizona and you're a member, you can go take out a side-by-side, a slingshot. You contact the outfitter, you arrange going to get the unit. Some of them offer delivery, and then they don't have to deal with the storage, the maintenance, anything like that. So it's a really nice option that we've kind of tiered off of the actual outfitter network and just day-to-day rentals or half-day or full-day type stuff. So
Gotcha. Okay, that's super interesting because so for my company, SledSend, not to talk about myself here, but so obviously do the podcast and some merch and stuff, but then I also host retreats, and my target demographic is like, so on the personal side, like I own a couple different businesses, and so my demographic to get people to ride is like business owners and entrepreneurs that have never been on a sled before. That just strictly want an adrenaline rush and an experience. And so I hosted my first one last season in Oregon, and I brought 4 guys up from Austin, Texas, and 1 guy up from Phoenix, Arizona. Never seen that much snow in their life. And, you know, just basic mountain riding, and they all just absolutely loved it and wanted to come back. And so it was interesting. I've had the conversation with Austin, with Albany Lodge of, you know, maybe doing some kind of like white label service through them and having my clients fly in directly with them and have all the housing and stuff. But this whole Polaris Adventures thing, to be honest, I just found out about it like, I don't know, a few months ago. Like I didn't really even know what it was, and I found it through Austin actually. And so it's a pretty interesting concept. So talk to me about the idea of like, for the listeners or viewers that potentially would want to become like an outfitter. Is that what the term is?
A select member.
Okay, a select member. So what's the process if I am interested in doing that? How do I go about applying, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so if you go on our website, the Polaris Adventures website, you'll see a little option there to check out Select. It'll give you the pricing for the 3 tiers that'll offer the credits, and then it'll also tell you where outfitters are located.
Okay.
It's location by location for how many credits each like product line is and how long you're going to have it.
Okay.
But more information is on our website as far as like credits, the tiers, the cost, and everything like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, as well as how to like redeem each credit at the outfitters, how to utilize them, how to get, you know, kind of set up at that outfitter and rental and everything. So
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. And what's the website?
AdventuresPolaris.com.
AdventuresPolaris.com.
Yeah, and you can go right on the website, and it's super simple. We like to make things obviously as easy as possible.
Yep.
You go in, select your plan. It will walk you through how to redeem credits, where you can redeem them. I think it even has details of what types of models we run at each outfitter, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty intuitive, the website. Yep.
Awesome. And so on average, like, and you cover the whole United States? You do
So
anything outside, like in Canada or Mexico or anything?
We do have a couple Indian outfitters in Canada right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is it for international.
Got
but
it.
the Select program utilizes our 190 outfitters across the country. So wherever
that was my next question, was how many there was. Okay.
So wherever there's a Polaris Adventures outfitter, Select members, that's who they'll run from. So, and we have pretty much somewhere, I think, in almost all 50 states except for a few. So try to make it as easy accessible as possible.
Got it.
And we do, you know, have plans to continue to expand that kind of thing, whether it's into a different line. So if they're ORV primarily and they're moving into snow, or just if we're expanding outfitters as well. So we do continue to, you know, expand and push, and hopefully have more throughout the U.S. and easier to find and easier to get to. Because that's probably the biggest thing about our Select program is it removes the need for you to own a unit, to have to trailer the unit, to have to do anything like that, even maintenance or store the unit. So it removes all of that from the customer, and it basically is you just have to get yourself to the outfitter, get yourself on a unit, and start having fun. So it makes it super safe, memorable. You know, it's just quick, easy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome. So when did Polaris Adventures actually start? Like, when did it...
Last year we started a pilot with Select and kind of started in the Arizona market, and kind of we're just putting feelers out there for who was interested in it, kind of figuring out how we were actually like going to do this yet.
Right.
And then by this spring is when we launched it to the rest of our outfitter network, and everyone then was Select ready, what we called it. So anyone could go to any outfitter, because when we first piloted it like a year ago, it was just that Arizona market. So this spring is really when it expanded to the rest of our outfitter network, and you can go anywhere then.
Awesome. That's really cool. God, these freaking planes everywhere. Of course, at this time. That's awesome.
I was going to ask a really quick favor. Can I have him do like a Snapchat of us doing this for
Yeah. Yeah, run a 4th camera, Jeff. Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Come
you
on,
can just do like a video
do something with yourself.
of like us talking. Just like 15 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Heck yeah. And so this was both of your guys' first podcasts?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, interesting enough, this is actually, so I've done like 28 episodes, I think.
Okay.
And you guys are the first girls I've ever had on the
awesome.
show.
Hey, women in power sports, right?
yeah.
Like, hey,
Let's go.
we need women out there riding.
Yeah.
Yes. Is this your first Heydays experience?
It is.
Ah,
This is the first
okay.
time I've ever been here. Oh my God. So back in February of this year, I met Austin for the first time.
Okay.
We were riding up in Sandpoint, Idaho with Justin Ponzer, Sled USA. And shortly after that, I had Austin on the podcast with a bunch of other people. And a couple months later, Austin was like, hey, why don't you come to our booth here at Albany Lodge and set up the podcast? And I was like, all right, I'm in. so here we are. Yeah, it's my first experience with Heydays, and oh my gosh, Sledder's heaven. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool because it's, the middle of September, and it really is the kickoff to winter, I guess.
is.
And
It
it's a pretty
is.
cool experience.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's an animal, just like it's its own being, I swear. Yeah.
yeah. So this obviously isn't your guys' first time?
No.
No.
Nope. I've been here countless times. I think both of our husbands have brought us here numerous times to walk around and find stuff. So
yeah.
they're both here today somewhere.
Yeah, they're all walking around somewhere. They're like doing like the swaps in the backfield.
Yeah.
So and then they come up to the vendor area too. But my husband has actually been here since Thursday. Or waiting in the line to get in as a swap since Thursday. So this is truly the kickoff to snowmobile season for him. I mean, in our household, when that first snowflake falls or it drops below 30 at night, it is like a celebration in our house.
Oh yeah.
Or like Facebook posting that the Bighorns got snow yesterday. Like
I saw that.
My husband was already posting stuff of like with the crying emoji because nothing's up here yet in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I can wait a little longer yet.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We got good fall riding with ORV around here. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah, we still have a great ORV season ahead of us. I mean,
Yep.
this is honestly one of the best times to ride because if you can get a little moisture like this overnight and it takes the dust down, and then you can get out on the trails with the beautiful leaves. So yeah, we have a really successful ORV season still to come for the next 2 months, I'd say. And then then we're going all in on snow.
It's playtime in the
Yes.
snow.
Yep.
No, that's awesome. Well, cool. I appreciate you guys jumping on. So every single episode we end it with like a sled talk question. So we ask the viewers and the listeners one question each, and then they can engage on TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. So putting the two of you on the spot. And so it could be related to Heydays, it could be related to Polaris Adventures, it could be related to snowmobile, it could be related to what type of gear you like. Doesn't matter, but just a question that you want to ask the listeners and the viewers.
Sam, you go first.
Where is everyone's favorite like off-road riding area, I guess, in the Midwest? I know there's a lot of places around here. I've been to Tennessee numerous times, so like that has my heart down there for off-roading. So like it's curious to see where everyone likes it around the Midwest area. Like I know the North Shore is beautiful up here, but like what am I missing in like, and I know South Dakota too, but some of those other Midwest states, like what am I missing? What else, what's great for ORV in the fall for riding ORV?
Heck yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I'll keep it in the lines of snow and just ask, like, what are people's preferences? Are you trail riders? Are you mountain riders? Are you kind of the crossover? And if so, kind of a one-off to that question, like, what's your preferred sled? What's your model? That might help me a little bit with my job. So I'll be sure to look for the responses on that one.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, great questions. Natalie and Sam, I appreciate you guys taking the time to jump over here and jump on your guys' first podcast. Grateful to have you guys.
It was a good
Happy to be here.
experience.
Yeah, thank you.
you.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Sled Talk listeners, we will thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Hey guys, thank you for checking out this episode of Sled Talk. Appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you were on iTunes or Spotify or any of the podcast platforms, or if you were on YouTube or saw this on our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys downloading the podcast, subscribing, hitting the notification buttons, all that good stuff, because we have a ton of more podcasts to come. So catch us on the next one. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
No regrets. Designer when I get dressed. Summertime on winter fresh. I put her legs behind her head. Night she gone to bed. Bye bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks.